And welcome back to my channel. This episode of Crystal One-on-One is powered by Roke Telecom. Make sure you take advantage of the Roke Plus package right now, which has a 40% installation discount because of COVID-19. And you get to enjoy zero charges on different interactive and educative learning platforms. For example, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Skype, or even Classroom. But I would like to welcome my guest on the show right now. She is a business owner, an entrepreneur, a publicist, and an entertainment manager. You know her well, Pherrie. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Crystal. I'm excited.
It's a pleasure to have you. I'm enjoying the artwork in the background, by the way.
I love art. I'm an artsy person, so yeah.
Okay, I've had so many requests to interview you. I just wanted to let you know before we even get into it. So many people have been asking me to host you on the show, so I'm really excited.
These people are like, this is so crazy. I wonder who these people are.
You have a lot of people who've been following you over the years. Now, I know that you're a business owner, but for many years, being in the public eye, you were known as, you know, the publicist, public relations manager for Governor Uganda. So are you, but I know your circumstances have changed. So maybe you could explain that a bit more.
Yeah, for I think about a decade, I've actually been publicist, guest relations manager, you know, dealing with reservations and the guest issues and all those things for governor, a bit of operations. And then in the middle there, I got married, so relocated, left the country, so left governor and handed the torch over to my niece, Natasha Kayondo, who's now the current PR, and then returned and continued doing some operations for governor and running things there. And then left again early this year in January.
Oh, so this is very recent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I can see that the way you're dressed right now, of course you are fasting, I'm well aware, yeah. But you also a Hajjat at the moment, unless I'm mistaken.
I'm a Hajjat by name and what people call me, but I haven't gone I haven't done my pilgrimage yet, which makes you officially one. I was hoping to do that this year, but of course things changed. COVID happened, so that didn't happen. So inshallah, next year I will be officially a Hajjat.
Yes, hopefully, you know, a lot of people are talking about how this is the new normal, and you know we have to get used to it. But it will take some time for things to, at least for traveling. I mean, a lot of people are nervous about traveling now. As Uganda, we've been quite lucky. Staying at home, of course, is uncomfortable. As a business owner, I know it must be scary, but we've been quite lucky that we haven't even had one death as yet from COVID-19.
Yeah.
But as a business owner, I think I have to start right there. How are you coping?
I didn't get you really clearly.
Oh, sorry. As a business owner, how are you coping with this situation we're in?
Oh my goodness, it's crazy for all of us. I think we're all in the same boat, I'd say. Unfortunately, when this happened, I had all my stock in the shop. Yeah, so all my stock is there, even though I get orders online and people wanting to buy things from me, I can't even get the stock to them. So I'm taking the orders and just holding the orders until we're open again, and then I can deliver or have people come collect their orders. But it's such a challenge. Rent doesn't stop. You have to keep paying the rent for the shop. Life goes on, but yet it has stopped. So it's really a challenge.
Exactly. And as someone who's, you know, I mean, you have people that you're employing as well. That must also be, you know, you have a lot of livelihoods that you're taking care of. It's not just, many people think it's just the business owner, but you have all these other people who are relying on you.
Exactly. And you know, with me, my employees become family. They become my daughters, they become my children, they call me mom. So I take them on as family. So anything that happens to them, whether it's work related or not, I'm responsible for it. So you have all these people to take care of. They're all looking at you. They're looking at you for hope. And you also don't know where to look at for hope, but somehow you have to keep a strong front for them so that, you know, they're hopeful. So you continue to take care of them at the same time. You don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't even know if some business owners don't even know if they'll proceed, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's unknown. You can't
Yeah.
say anything about it. It's just living in the unknown, like living day to day. You don't know. You don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. You know, we don't know when we'll be open again. We don't know when we'll fly out again and be able maybe to bring in new stock or new things. So it's all just, it's such a test. It's a test. It's a test of faith, test of life, test of being. So we're just taking it one day at a time. Yeah.
True. That's all we can do. Take it one day at a time. Now, I wanted to take you back. For a lot of people who have known you for the roles that you've been in, the jobs that you've had. I wanted to know,
what a journey, Crystal.
Before we even get to that, where were you born? How were you as a little girl? Where did you go to school?
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot. That's about 3 and something decades ago. A long time ago. But I'm born in Uganda, raised in Nairobi, Kenya. I don't know much about, I can't say much about Uganda during the time I was born, because I think my parents left the country when I was literally an infant. So my entire childhood and everything is Nairobi. I went to school at Loreto. I went to nursery school with Singa. It's international nursery school in Nairobi. And then I joined Loreto. And then I was there until we returned and joined Kampala Parents, primary 6. Primary 7, Kampala Parents. Yeah. So after Kampala Parents, I did PLE. I didn't want to go to boarding school, but you know, I was my parents' first child to go to a boarding school in Uganda. I didn't want to go to boarding school. I wanted to go to a day school. I wanted to go to Makerere College.
Why didn't you want to go to boarding school? Had you heard something bad about boarding, or?
I just, well, first of all, it was a culture shock. Believe it or not, at the time, Nairobi and Kampala were very different, you know, because being raised in Nairobi, yes, it's an African country, East African, right neighbors to Uganda, but things were completely really different. It was more developed than Uganda was. So school there was different, lifestyle was different, you know, and then we returned to Kampala and it hadn't developed yet as much as it is now. I'll just give examples of simple things like escalators, like, you know, we had escalators in school. We didn't even have a single escalator in Uganda when we came here. For example, the bathrooms at school, you know, and then when I came here, I was going to, at the time, Kampala Parents was one of the best schools to go to as a primary school. And, you know, our toilets were still
messy.
You know, those toilets. Yeah. You know, you've never seen a pit latrine before, and then you're going to boarding school and there are pit latrines. So it was just a culture shock. And my Luganda was not yet where it's supposed to be. I didn't want to go to school to be teased. My cousins would say they'll tease you in school. You can't speak Luganda. You'll have long hair. They'll cut your hair. A lot of horror stories, you know, you'd hear. So I didn't want to go to boarding school. But I did end up going to boarding school. My parents chose for me. I didn't choose this for myself. I wanted to have my first choice in Amagunga, but my father is Muslim, Islam. So his friend Nabisun's girls. And off I went to Nabisun's girls.
So you went to Nabisunza. Okay.
To
was it as scary as your cousins had said? Because it sounds like they had prepared you for the worst.
So could the headmistress, ex-headmistress, who's now really a good friend and family friend, So I don't want to say a lot of things, but just know it was nothing to what I was used to. Great experiences, a lot of growth, but man, it was tough. It was tough.
Mm.
It was tough. Yeah.
Did
Boarding
you make
school in Uganda at
some
my
good
time was
friends there?
yeah, I've made great friends. I had cousins who were going to school. I had family friends. My sisters all were in that school as well. So yeah, it wasn't so bad. And I did well, you know. I was really good in literature. I think I was one of the best students in literature there. So yeah, I got first grades all through. First grade in primary 7, I think I got a 6. Then secondary, I think I got a 19. So I was always getting first grades and doing, you know, well enough. But
Mm.
in regards to lifestyle, you know, like the food we ate, the way we slept, where we showered, the toilets we used, it was all a challenge compared to
Mm.
what I'd been used to before. Yeah. But with time, you get used to it, and it becomes part of who you are, and then you appreciate it because as you get older, you know, these are things you have to learn. You're not going to always be eating off a silver, you know, plate. So yeah, I appreciate everything I learned there and what I went through there. But if I had children, I would never send them to boarding school. Just for the record, I'd never. I keep telling my sisters with their kids, "What? Don't send them." I would never. I would never
Are you
tell anyone to send them
serious?
to never. And your kids are probably in boarding school too, but I would
My oldest child is in boarding school.
I know. I would never. Actually, I'd homeschool my kids. And when we first went to Nairobi, we were homeschooled. Before my parents set us in schools, we were homeschooled. We had teachers that came home and homeschooled us, me and my
Ah.
siblings. Yeah. So all my siblings have kids. And I kept telling them, why don't you homeschool these people? Mommy and dad homeschooled us and we came out just great. Why don't you homeschool? You know? Yeah. So I don't think I'd send my kid to a boarding school.
In terms of homeschooling, from what I have
Yeah,
attempted in the
that's probably
last
why
few
I don't
weeks,
have them yet because I
I
can't
wouldn't
afford the
say
lifestyle. I can't afford the lifestyle I'd want for my kids. So probably that's why I don't even have them. Yeah.
personally, it's not easy. That's all I'll say. It has tested me beyond. I've had to pull on, all these reserves of patience. But yeah, I
Yeah.
can understand. I mean, a lot of people I know who went to boarding school and had a rough time actually really feel
Yeah.
like they don't want to do
Yeah.
that again. Yeah,
Yeah.
they
And
don't
I
want to
didn't
do
even
that.
really have a rough time there. To be honest, I didn't. Navisosa was rather modern school. You know, we had visitations, we had entertainment, we had socials, what the kids call prom these days. I mean, it wasn't that bad, but I just wanted to be
Do you
home.
feel like maybe you missed out on maybe the relationship with your family in terms of being home?
Yeah,
Because once your child is in boarding school, they're away from you like huge percentage
exactly.
of the time.
Yeah, and I find that I don't really have a friendship relationship with my mom, and for those reasons, I was the first child that was taken to boarding school, and I was kept there, of course. And then I was the only daughter sent abroad for university. So I have no connection whatsoever because growing up as a teenager, you're in boarding school. You only come home for like a month. Yeah. And then once I was done with high school, straight to the States for university and still in a boarding school there.
How did
So,
that happen? Who made the
yeah,
decision for you to go
my parents,
to?
they didn't want me
Okay,
here. They didn't want me
okay.
here after I finished S6. And, I
Were
was
you
supposed
the
to go to
oldest?
university.
Maybe you can take me
No,
back. Were you the oldest?
I'm not the old, I think I'm
How
not the
come?
oldest. I'm their guinea pig. I'm their guinea pig for everything. Yeah, so after S6, they sent me to the States. I went to Lesley University. It's a girls only boarding school. Actually, all my life I've been in girls only schools. In Nairobi, I was in Loreto. It was a girls only convent school led by nuns. I came here, did Kampala Parents, that was mixed just for about 2 years. And then Nabisunso was girls only. And then even my university was a girls only university that was also a boarding university, like didn't go home. Yeah, so all my life I've been with friends. I've been raised by friends, I suppose, because I've always been in boarding school with friends, girlfriends. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, and
very
then
interesting.
after that, after university in the States,
What did
I
you do when you were at
graduated.
university? What course
Sorry,
were you doing? What course were you doing at
international.
university?
Believe it or not, I started out with childhood development and psychology. That was my freshman year at Leslie College. I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to do education. Can you imagine that? So I did childhood development and psychology. And then after that year, because they take you to do physicals where you go to nursery schools and where you go to daycare centers and things like that, I changed my mind.
Okay. Was it because you interacted with the children and you're like, not for me?
I don't think I can do things, and then I realized again fun what I thought I'd do, because children are very delicate. Anything happens to them, it's you're raising them, so I decided to switch. So I switched to international communication and journalism and just went with that, and then left Leslie University because it was more educational courses, and switched to Emerson, which is a university in the States that deals with journalism and PR and media and all those kinds of things. And that's why I finally graduated. And that's the
Okay.
route I eventually took.
Okay. So you finally, essentially became a journalist
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
No, I
So,
didn't. I didn't. I didn't.
well, a publicist
I didn't
journalist,
become.
I mean, in terms of what your education, the
So,
path
but
it
then I
set you
returned.
on.
Yeah. So I returned to Uganda just to visit. Actually, I came for a holiday just to visit so that I could go back and start working and everything. But then when I came to visit for 2 months, I didn't go back. I loved it so much and I didn't go back. And my parents and everyone, my brothers, everyone was like, why are you going back? Just stay here, work here. So I stayed. I stayed and went to see my dad's friend, Professor Gordon Wehomuno. And
Mm-hmm.
at the time, he had WBS TV running. So he said, no, I need people like this. I need you to help me run my PR department. I need you to assist me with my marketing team. They need this, they need this. So I joined WBS I joined them yeah. So that was before governor and everything. So it was always Wava in the beginning. Yeah, so I joined WBS. So I helped him with his marketing department, PR, and then eventually I took it on full time, because when I first went, I was just, filling it out and assisting. And then I became their public relations and marketing manager, and I was there with them for a while. And then my cousin, Isaac Mulindwa, was running Palm Awards as well at the time. So I joined his committee to help him with PR for it as well, and organization. So I started doing WBS together with Palm Awards. So I was working for Chairman Wabamuno, and then I was also working for Isaac. Then I left WBS and joined Hot 100 as their PR and doing dealing with their presenters, like the HR for their presenters, only that little section. And then at the same time, started working with Agi Konde, again through Isaac Mulindwa, as a Pepsi ambassador, like doing all their Pepsi activations, Crown Beverage activations and things like that. But believe it or not, I was doing all these things together. So I just carried on what we do abroad. You'll be babysitting, you'll be going to school, you'll be working at a retail store. You'll have like 3 jobs plus school all at the same time. So when I moved here, I just carried on with that. Yeah. So, and then I joined Governor. So I had Governor, Palm Awards, Pepsi. I had all these jobs at the same time. Yeah, I was taking a really good.
What were your working hours like then?
I never slept, because I was working at night at Governor, and then during the day, I'd be doing all these Pepsi activations. We'd be going up country and all kinds of things. and then I'd do Hot 100, and then I'd do Sellers, which is, Isaac Mlindo's company that does the Palm Awards and all these other marketing things. So I never slept. Those were the days. I never ever slept. I didn't have any responsibilities. I was still living with my parents. And I was really making all this money, and I just was working, like with no aim, just working. Yeah.
When you look back now, is it like, okay, do you feel like you missed out on anything?
No, I didn't, because when I was in the States in college, I lived a lot of my life there. So
Okay.
yeah, the first high crazy party life, I did all that in college. So I don't think I missed anything. So when I came here, I was really ready to work. I wasn't, and I didn't have to work. I could have just sat home, and enjoyed my vacation, or just enjoyed being what they used to call a summer those days. But I just dove into it, and I was working and I was working and I was meeting people. And that's how I ended up getting so many connections and meeting so many people in the entertainment industry, because I met most of the artists I met through WBS and bring their music. I'd have to go through their music people to play it. Strucker those days was doing a show like what Douglas Wanga does now. So every artist wanted their music to play on that Strucker show. So come bring it, and then So I met so many people. I met so many presenters and many people in the business. I don't know when I met you. I think it was around that time too.
It should have been Palm Awards around there as well.
Yes, Palm Awards, yeah, because we always would need to do interviews and promotions on radios. So it was a good time, very good time for connections, very good time for, relationships in the industry. Yeah.
Okay, so as much as you were like working, doing all these different things, it was mostly behind the scenes, yet a lot of people considered you to be a face as well. And there were a lot of articles about you. I mean, you were in the news as well, but you weren't necessarily, let's say, hosting a show, or how did you handle that?
No. Would you believe it that in the beginning when I joined WBS, I actually wanted to do a show like the Tyra Banks show. At the time when I was in the States, Tyra Banks had a show that was kind of a lifestyle show, but really good. So I threw that idea and wanted to do that. And my older brother, he's the reason I didn't even do any of it. He's the reason I stayed in the background. I mean, if it hadn't been for him, I'd probably have been in the forefront. But
Why?
every time they offered me something in the forefront, I always said no and chose to be in the back, and then just chose to push talent. So that's why you find that the talent, the artist, the talent knows me, but the people don't, because I was always behind the talent. So between the public is the talent, and then I'm in the back. So that's what happened. My brother said no, he didn't agree with, he didn't want me to become a public figure. He didn't want me out there. He said, being a public figure in Uganda is completely different from being a public figure where you're coming from. They're going to rip you to pieces first of all, and then either prosper or it's not worth it. It is not worth it. Stay in the industry, because it's your profession and you love it, but don't let it ruin your life. Just always.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just took that and went with that. I remember for Palm Awards, they always used to want me to MC.
But your pictures were always in the paper though, because of every event, they'll still take your picture.
Why should we hire someone else to be the host? And I never accepted. So I always stayed in the background. I always was in the background. Yeah. I think I only came to the forefront when I took on being PR and face for governor. So then that's when I came out more to do interviews and more to be out there. But the rest of it, I've been in the industry for this long, but I've always been in the background. I haven't really been out there. Yeah.
Okay, so from juggling all these different roles in these different companies, did you ever feel at some point like, no, I need to just take a break? I need to focus on me for a while? Or was it just go, 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 go constantly?
I did. I got burnt out. At some point, I got burnt out and I had to make a decision. Either governor or stay with everything else, you know, because, and then also clientele gets mixed up because these are all different entities. And then it's the same face. You know, you go and someone says, you're here for governor, or you're here for, do you understand? You're here for palm. So I had to choose, and I chose governor. I took a break. I left Crown Beverages promotions. I left Hot 100. I left Palm. I left Isaac and went with Mr. Lovega. So
Okay, and you chose the one.
Yeah, I chose the one, and I just focused on being Charlie's angel. That's what we say, Charlie's angel, and was just strictly governor for a decade. I think it's been 9 years now. 9 years since I left. Yeah. And then even after that, I still got burnt out, and I said, no, I can't.
Was it because of the hours? Were you expected to?
Sorry?
Was it because of the hours?
It wasn't because of the hours. Governor is great. It's a fun place to work. First of all, we've got one of the best bosses ever. You know, Mr. Lubega he becomes family, he becomes friend, he takes you in. And then the people we work with, my management team, my fellow managers were amazing. That was in itself a family. So it was a family for 9 years. So I never had any difficulties there, ever. I mean, you would have read about them, or you would have had scandals or anything, but it's a team that's so scandalous. It's a team that's friends before anything. It's a team that's become family through the years. But you grow up, and then you're a woman, and then you're in the club every single night. You know, it has nothing to do with the job. It's that's wearing down on you as a person, because you're going to the club you're going to the club in the night, you're leaving at 6 in the morning, you know, it gets to a point where you're like, you know, I just want to sleep in my bed and be out in a club with people hugging and crazy. And so you leave it. Yeah, you leave it. Everything has its time. I feel like, Natasha is young. She needs to take that on. She still has the zeal and energy
for
to be out partying. Yeah, I couldn't do it anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, but
maybe sometimes, you know, you just knew it was time for a change as well.
I just wanted to be home, stay away from the scene. I just was done with the party life. I was done with going out. I just wanted to be home and do something nice and mellow and easy, peaceful.
And own your time again.
Sorry?
And own your time again.
Yes. And I had found my faith as well. So I'd like really started practicing. I'm Muslim, so I said really practicing. I was fully dressing as a Muslimah, wearing hijab on my head. And there's no way I'd wear hijab during the day and then at night take it off, wear my little tiny dress and go to the club. So I had to make a choice again. Yeah, so the choice was this. Yeah.
Okay.
So January, I took off the gloves and said, au revoir. It's been wonderful, but the party has to end.
But it was a good run while it lasted.
It was a great run. It was a great run. It was great.
Okay. Yeah. You mentioned earlier that, you know, you worked, and then you took a break and you left the country, and then you came back. When was this?
I was married to someone in the US military. So literally I was, I was a nomad, but a nomad that, you know.
Okay, this was about what, 2014 was it?
2013, 2014, 15 to 16.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was such a challenge. It was such a challenge because when you're used to being settled in one place, and then now your life is strictly living in suitcases, because I would be on a plane at least 5 times in a year. I can't believe that.
Really?
Like in, out of the country. I wasn't settled here. I wasn't settled there. Yeah, but that was how his life was because of his job. So
Yeah.
he couldn't really be in one place. And I kind of had to, you've been independent, you've been your own woman, you've been financially in control and independent of everything of your own. And then all of a sudden, you give all that up, everything. And then guess what? You're running after him wherever he's going.
Ooh,
If it's in
that's
Italy, get
hard.
on a plane, go to
That's
Italy. If
hard.
it's in Germany, get on a plane, go to Germany. If it's in, like, your life no longer exists. And I guess when you make the choice to get married to someone like that, then you've made that choice. So yeah, so then I had to give up me and became Mrs. and whatever Mrs. entailed. And main thing Mrs. entailed was following husband to wherever he was or going to wherever husband was. And yeah, that took a toll
Was
on
it
me
tough?
too. And
Yeah.
it was very major challenge. Major challenge. I think it would work if in the beginning you were a person who wasn't independent, you know? If in the beginning you're someone who's, you know, not really, you don't feel like you have to go get your own bread, maybe that can work. And then you can be a stay-at-home mom and housewife, whatever. But if you've spent a big batch of your life calling your shots, it's so hard to give up those shots. Yeah.
I can imagine. I can imagine. My goodness.
Yeah.
And also
Yeah.
the fact that you were moving all the time. If you were in one place,
time.
maybe you could have started doing something for yourself.
I have so much respect for army wives. You guys, and the ones with kids, they move with those kids. It's insane. Like, because school has begun, they're in a place for like 2 years, and then you have to pluck them out, take them somewhere else. So anyway, it ends up being a long distance marriage because I think at some point the wife is like, I'm just staying here, you go and find us here. So I think of course it works because there's many married people living that kind of life, but it just got tough for me. And
Yeah.
you know, the back and forth, the living out of suitcases, it takes a toll on your relationship as well. Yeah, it does. So eventually the marriage didn't work out. So I returned. I wanted to be home in Uganda. And I was like, I've given up. I'm just leaving. I'm just going to go back home. So I left and I came home.
Did you sit down and have a conversation about it? Or was it one of those breakups where other things happened and
we did not, and I've never ever spoken about this ever, because I respect that man and I appreciate him. So I never, and there's nothing really wrong. He didn't do anything really. So I never want to talk about it because I hate people, team whatever. I hate that stuff. And he's not even a public person to be thrown out there, and his private life to be thrown out there. So I've never spoken about it. But no, we never talked. It just wasn't working. You know, love isn't everything. You're married, you've been married forever. Love isn't everything. Love is everything in the beginning, right? But you'll still love the person, but everything around that love isn't falling in place. You know, maybe it's falling in place for the other part. It has to fall in place for both of you.
Yeah.
And if it's only falling in place for one person, then the other person is going to start feeling resentful and they're going to start just closing off.
Yeah.
You know, as much as they love you and as much as they committed to you. And I'm an individual who's very different. Like, I'm fearless. Things that scare people do not scare me. Everyone says, oh, you just sit there, you can't leave the marriage, guma guma, you know those things. Very like, no, I never stay. I never stay in a place I'm not wanted, and I never stay in a place I feel not wanted, and I never stay in a place I'm not thriving, I'm not happy. It doesn't matter what I'm getting from it. It doesn't matter who's going to say what. And this goes for friendships, relationships, work, everything. So yeah, they say, oh, for Pherrie, it's very easy, just picks up and goes. I pick up and leave. It doesn't matter where I am. I'll just pick up and leave, and you'll be in shock because people don't expect you to leave good things, but I'll pick up and I live the good things because they're not good for me.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, so yeah, so I just left. We never even talked. It's the strangest thing.
Mm.
But my faith, everything happens when my creator wills. When my creator wills, it happens. And normally he will not will for you what you can't handle. And he will always will for you what's best for you. So if he willed that I need to get out of here, then that's what was best for me.
Yeah. You can't force it. You can't force.
No, and I don't like talking, and I don't like confrontations, because normally the talking makes me change my mind. I'm very soft-hearted, so when I talk, I change my mind. I always like Crystal. I could know that no, I don't want to do this interview. I'll never do this interview. But then we talk, and I'm so soft-hearted. I'll be like, oh, I'll just do it. I'll just, you know, it's the same thing. I could catch someone maybe betraying me, and then I'll just be like, I'm done. I don't want to deal with them anymore. I'll just like them from afar, and then I'll cut them off. But should that person find me and we talk, I'm going to take them with me. So the best thing I do is run. I always run. And
you run and you cut off and
I run. Every relationship I've been in, I've just run. I'd never say, let's talk, it's over. No, by the way, I just run. I never say it's over. I just disappear. I just run.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. But what you talked about earlier with, like, when you know something is not working for you, the fact that you're able to just move, that is something so many people struggle with.
No. I know.
Okay.
But for me,
how did your family take it?
I just leave. I just don't.
So how did your family take it?
My family, first of all, is also a very private one. I think you may know my siblings, my brothers, but they're very private and they don't really like being out there. So I never do discuss them or bring them out there or anything. But nobody knows me as well as my family. And they tell you straight up, they tell you Pherrie is Pherrie. Like, it's a statement, it means something. My brother, who was my moko, who gave me away to my ex-husband. My ex-husband came and said to me, your brother just told me something. He said to me, look, Pherrie is everybody's darling. She kind of gets what she wants. Like, everyone's darling, it's very hard. Like, so he said, so it scared my husband, and he was like, it seems like they kind of just, whatever you want, whether there's logic or reason, you do, and no one ever guides you or stops you or tells you not to do. So that's my family. If I say I'm done, whether they agree or not agree, they'll just be. Do you get it? If I say I'm staying there or I'm going with this person, whether they want the person or not, they'll be like, okay. Yeah. So I can never know if they're happy about something or they're not happy about something. Because as long as they're saying I'm happy, they'll act like they're happy. Yeah. So I don't have that. I don't have that one person who tells me, no, that's wrong. You should.
Right.
Yeah. They don't.
That is what a support network is about, right?
Yeah. I actually don't have that. And I think, I don't know, maybe it's because I've been away from them, like far from them. So they've never really, so when I came back, they were trying to compensate on the time that I've been away. So no one really wanted to upset or hurt or, yeah. So they just kind of let me do and be what makes me happy. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so because I remember I called my dad and I said, I can't be in this marriage anymore. And he said, hey, Mumbeja, that's Princess. What happened? I said, I can't. He said, okay, what does it take? What do you need? I said, I need to be out of here as soon as possible. I said, oh, no problem. Your sister Ida will call you and we'll get you out of there. So a few minutes later, my sister Ida had already called me. They already had a travel agent and everything was already booked, and I was on a plane back home. They didn't.
No, that means family got your back. Family's got your back. That's a blessing.
No, I actually left everything there. I left everything. I left everything. Eventually.
Wow.
Yeah, everything. As much as I love, you know how I love my clothes and shoes and everything, I left everything. But the gentleman was good enough to eventually, like after a year, he sent all my things. Because I would keep saying, please send my things. And said, no, you can't pick them up. Please send my things. But eventually he did, he sent everything, and yeah, and good terms. You know, decent person, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he sent someone, moved on, he remarried, you know, and he deserves that. He's a good man. He just wasn't a good man for me. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah. So then
The
when I
lifestyle
left, I didn't.
right for you as
Sorry?
well. The lifestyle just wasn't also allowing you to thrive. So
Yeah, I think I can't even put a finger on what it was, but I just think I just becoming resentful to the lifestyle of moving back, coming back. And then when I would be here, he's so far away. And of course you have those issues where they told me you were here, have you gone there, you know, and half the time it's not even what he thinks it is, but because he's so far, he's going to believe, you know, what he's told it is. So you spend so much time defending yourself, you spend so much time, and then you even lose, you know, the friendship in the relationship, because it's like being hunted. You know, you're being hunted, you're defending yourself. Yeah, so that's no way to live.
yeah.
That's just no way to live. Yeah.
Okay. So you decided you left, you came back home.
Yeah.
When you came back home, what had you
I came back 2016, is it 2017? I came back. And when I came back, because when I came back, I hadn't even told him I'm not coming back. This marriage is over. Like, I just left. So when I came back, of course, there was still communication, and he was still expecting that I'm coming back, you know, but I never did go back. My heart was done. Officially or divorce, no, none of that was done, but my heart was done. And yeah, so I stayed and I went back to Governor. I started working at Governor. I started working on my clothing line. I started doing modest clothes for ladies, for Muslim ladies. But
that's Dress Like Me. Is it Dress Like Me?
No, it wasn't just Dress Like Me. It was Love. I named it
Oh,
Love. I was doing Yes, I was doing it as a one-on-one. It wasn't a big business, a shop or anything. I was trying it out. So I'll do like the long skirts and the dresses. I had a Congolese tailor and would pick nice fabric and designs and would sew clothes and dress, you know, married Muslim women. They're out there. They love to dress lovely, but they don't have it. It's not there. You know, they go to buy and it's a basic blah, you know, modest clothes. So I started doing that. And then at the same time, I was also doing Governor. And then I also opened up a beauty shop. So I also started working on people's hair and, you know, barbering, things like that. That was HP Beauty Spot. My significant.
You opened that was it 2018? When did you open the beauty spot? Was it 2018?
That was 2018. 2018.
Oh.
2018. Yeah. So that kept me very busy. It's like the most challenging business anyone can ever do is a beauty shop. Anyone can tell you. I'm sure the Zewas of this world can tell you. First of all, you have to have so much passion for hair to be able to do it and succeed at it. So if you're just doing it as a business and you don't have the hair passion, or you're just doing it as a hobby, forget it. Just don't put any money in that business, leave it alone. Yeah, so it kept me very busy. I would be there all day till like 10, 9 long hours. And then I'd have Governor at night, of course. And then I'd also be running to the tailor, shake fabrics, deliver this to these people and things like that. So those things kept me so busy that it was so easy for me to get over my relationship.
Yeah.
I think if I
You buried
didn't have
yourself
those,
in work.
I was so busy. Probably if I didn't have those things, I'd probably have gone back. I'd probably gone back and said, oh, you know what, yeah, can you give me another, yeah, can we try? But because I was so busy, like my days were, like 2018 just flew, it went so fast. I got past the relationship, I, started dating someone else. And yeah.
And this is where we are now.
That's where we are now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you are married now?
Yeah, I'd say.
I like that answer.
By the way, as we giggle here, let me say congratulations to Juliana. We're all taking that leave. I'm taking that leave. Not saying if I'm married, not saying if I'm pregnant. Boom, things just fall in your face.
How did she pull that off, though? I think we need tips on how to do that.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, but
so
that's what
we're saying now.
Right?
Maybe.
Okay.
For the longest time, Crystal, I've always been an open book. My relationships are out there. You understand? The man I'm in love with is out there. Like I've always put everything out there. I've always been an open book. So this time I was like, well, I think it's time you learn. And I was like, you know what? I want privacy. You don't need to know who I love to love me. Do you understand? You don't need to know what he does, what he looks like, what he does for me. You don't need to see the car he's bought me. You don't need to see the flowers he's got me. Like you just have me. Like and my clothes, because I'm selling you my clothes. That's enough.
But that is absolutely
all you
allowed.
find on my social media now is me and the clothes I'm promoting or selling you. Yeah. There's no need. There's no need for me to show you that I'm kissing my husband or so I learned, and that's in the past. I don't do that anymore. So I just keep him private, keep whatever we have together private. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Learn.
All right. Okay. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. And I'm happy for you. Because sometimes you need to protect something that is great. If you have something beautiful, you need to protect it.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things you learn along the way. You learn with time. We
Yeah.
all learn. Yes,
yeah,
we all
learn. And sometimes when you have, issues in your relationship, you probably could have worked them out, but because you put the relationship out there, you end up not working them out. Do you know?
So when you see other people doing this all the time, because that's the world we're living in. For a lot of couples, you see everything is out there. Everything is put out there, and you're like, but did you need to share this? Really?
For me, when I see that now, I just laugh because that was me. That was me. I'm like, I'm not cheating. I'm a very faithful girl. I'm not promiscuous. I have one man, and why should I hide him? That was always me. I always had my relationship out there. Everybody knew this is Pherrie's man.
But hey, like you said, it's not necessary. But I think it's a learning curve for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's one, and everyone has their time. I had my time of doing that, and then I got out of it. So everyone has their time. So there's people, they have their time. They want to enjoy public affection and they want to put their partners out there, and that's fine. It works for them and they enjoy it. I don't regret it because I enjoyed every moment of mine. I enjoyed every moment of it. I wasn't doing it because I was forced to do it. I enjoyed it. I lavished in it. So I enjoyed it. But now I enjoy the privacy. I enjoy, not having him out there. I enjoy people not picking him apart because he's Pherrie's man. I enjoy the privacy. So, yeah.
Okay. So now when it comes to your businesses now, you have your beauty But when it comes to your businesses now, you have your beauty spot, and then you have your clothing line, and then I read somewhere that you're also involved in real estate. Is that still happening?
Right now, I'm going to tell you, well, 2020 has turned out to be actually a dead year, but my 2020, we never say what we're planning, but since they're all out of the pipeline now, they're past the plan stages, I'll talk about them. So the first one I'll talk about, and I made sure I carry it here with me so that I don't forget it. I want to make every household in Uganda sweet. We need some sweetness, don't you think?
Okay, explain.
We need some sweetness. Like, things have been so sour. People are so hard-hearted. Love relocated to another planet. It doesn't, it's too cool. Isn't it different? Like when we went to social and we used to write letters and everything. The kids now don't even know these things. Everything is so callous. So I want to bring some sugar back, some sweetness back. And
okay. Oh, you know what? I actually bought 3 kilograms of that yesterday. I looked at it, I was like, because I'm very big on boo-boo. Whenever I'm buying products, I'm always like, okay, something new. Where is it made? So I was with my daughter, and I'm like, this is Ugandan? And I'm like, okay, let's try it. All right.
It's made in Uganda. It's called Waganda. Waganda sugar. So it's out now, but not yet really out. So it's something we're pushing, and what I'm doing now, getting sugar to every home. I can't talk too much in detail about it, but that's one of the things. And then there's also something that we're supposed to have started doing, but unfortunately schools closed. It's Read Me. It's called Read Me. It's a book club that we go to different schools. The reading culture in Uganda has been not good. Our reading culture is awful, if I could be blunt. So we wanted to start growing the reading culture in schools. So it's a book club. It's called Read Me, and it goes to different schools. And we either read books with them on the syllabus, or take books for them within their syllabus to read. All the schools create book clubs, and each of that school, say Nabisunsa will have a book club called Read Me. Guys will have a book club called Read Me, and we keep going to the schools. We carry a celebrity or a personality who they look up to, who they vote for, and he comes or she comes, and she'll maybe read a page during our Read Me visits. So that's also something else that we were working on, and then COVID happened, and then schools were shut. So we don't even know when schools will reopen again. It's also a way just to give back. During the time we're with the kids, they share with us things they can't talk to their parents about, things they can't talk to their teachers about, and career guidance, talent guidance, things like that. Yeah, those are the 2 new things.
Okay, that's absolutely fantastic. Fantastic. I'm a huge advocate for reading, so yay. Because
and then we wanted to restart the sisterhood again. I don't know if you had known of it or heard of it. It was a group of 7 girls who would collect their own money monthly and give less privileged girls sanitary wear. I was the visionary of that group. And when I left the country and got married and it kind of fell apart, everyone kind of veered away. But recently some of the members were coming back to me and saying, oh, because I think COVID makes people feel that humanity in them, and they're like, what should I do? How can I give back?
Yeah.
So they wanted to refresh it and see if we can refresh sisterhood, but a different kind of angle. So we're still in talks, and we'll see how that goes.
Okay, I would love to hear more about that.
Yeah. Right now, all my life I've been working for me, you know, earn, buy, and everything, Crystal, everything that a girl would I have owned, I have done. I have traveled to every continent. I've worn every design I wanted. I've shopped everywhere. So it gets to a point and it's like, what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
You sit back and you're like, what's the point? You've driven all your dream cars. You've gone to the countries that were on your bucket list. You've been able to shop whatever, have whatever hair, do whatever you've wanted. Lived nice and everything. And then at the end of the day, it's like, and
yeah. What else? What's more?
What else? To keep working, earning, to buy, like how much can you have? So, so I just switched and I said, no more working to earn. For me, I want to give back. I will not do anything anymore if it's not giving back.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter how poor I'll get or anything, but going forward, when this year started, I said, no more. If it's an offer where I'm not giving back, I'm not taking it. So no more doing anything if it's not to give back. Yeah, so now all the projects and things that come to me or that I'd like to do, if I'm not making a change, I'm not giving back, I'm not creating some kind of humanitarian impact, then I'll just sit home. I'd rather sit home and eat spaghetti. I'll do it. Yeah. So
okay.
No more corporate world. We're going back to an office moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's important. It's funny enough, as much as COVID-19 has, pushed us away from each other in many other ways, now we're really looking at reconnecting, and not just for, regular just contact, hanging out together. Now it's like, okay, so how can we do meaningful things together?
Yeah.
That's really cool. Well, Pherrie, thank you so much. I'll say now where we are in the world, we're really looking at how to reconnect in meaningful ways and help others. So I'm so happy to hear that. So happy to hear that.
Can I ask you a question before you take off, Crystal?
Yeah.
Let me ask you, what's your, let me find the right way for it. What's your goal? What would you love to do in life? If you had everything? Do you understand? If you had everything and you were just there and had access to anything in the world, what would you do? Because right now, as we are, we don't have access to anything. So you might want to do this, but you can't really do it because you don't have this. But say there was no limitations. What would you want to do? What would you be? What would you?
Oh my God, that's such a tall order. I'm finding that sharing and teaching are like my happy places now. So sharing, connecting, and then just teaching what I've learned. If I can keep doing that in all aspects of my life, I mean, then I feel like I've done my job. So even just these platforms, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm learning and I'm sharing at the same time.
Great answer. Can I tell you mine? Because if someone is watching, maybe they'll remove the limitations for me and I'll be able to do it.
Mm-hmm. Please do.
If I had no limitations and I had everything I needed, I would completely get away from this life, completely. And I would definitely go to impoverished places and like live with them, deal with them. Like I feel the need like to just go out there, impoverished places. What really happens there? How do these people really live? How do they even exist? How do they even make it through to the next day? I always have had that in the back of my head, because I say an impoverished mother goes and like in a really impoverished places, how do they live? How do they bathe? What we call normal is privilege to them. How do they go through it? So I want to do that.
And then how do you make a difference?
When you know that what they need, what they go through, because we help, but you can never help well enough if you haven't lived it. Do you know that? Because I can say, okay, I'll be helping through a sisterhood to give less privileged girls pads, but they probably don't even need the pads. But because for me, I can't go through a period without a pad, so I think, oh, they need the pad. Maybe if I went and lived with them, I'd find that a pad is the list of their worries. Like they have other issues that I could help with. So yeah, that's something I'd want to do. Eventually, if you ever see me, those ends in the dust in impoverished places, you'll know. I just want to be a part of that. And how do you contribute? How do you change? How do you make it better? By being a part of it. Yeah, that's mine.
Well, I can't wait to see it happen.
Inshallah, we say.
Well, thank you, Pherrie. We're out of time. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
It was nice to catch up. I know you said that you've been away from the limelight, so I do appreciate you taking the time to share.
Thank you so much for having me. We'll be sending your box, Crystal. Let me organize to send you a box.
Seriously, I saw it yesterday for the first time. I'm like, okay, I'm taking this. So, yeah.
Let me organize to send you a box of Uganda as well. And have sugar in your home too. Have some sweet in your home.
You know, when you said, you know what, add some sweet, I was like, what is she talking about?
Sweet. We need sweet. We need lots of it.
Well, my plan is actually to make ice cream today for the first time. I've never made ice cream at home, so I'm making ice cream today. So I'll share this.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I'm going to send a box to you. I'm going to send you a box.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Well, do take care.
Take care.
And
Thank
stay
you so
well.
much.
Thank you too. Bye.